2 Samuel 5. And all the tribes of Yisrael came to Daud at Hebron and spoke, saying, Look, we are your bone and your flesh. Formerly, when Shaul was king over us, you were the one who led Yisrael out and brought them in. And Yahuah said to you, Shepherd my people Yisrael, and be ruler over Yisrael. And all the elders of Yisrael came to the king at Hebron, and King Daud made a covenant with them at Hebron before Yahuah. And they anointed Daud king over Yisrael. Daud was 30 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 40 years. In Hebron he reigned over Yehudah 7 years and 6 months, and in Jerusalem he reigned 33 years over all Yisrael and Yehudah. And the king and his men went to Jerusalem against the Jebusites, the inhabitants of the land. And they spoke to Daud, saying, Except you take away the blind and the lame, you are not going to come in here, thinking, Daud is not going to come in here. But Daud captured the stronghold of Tziyun, the city of Daud. And Daud said on that day, Anyone who smites the Jebusi, let him go by the water shaft and take the lame and the blind, who are hated by Daud's being. That is why they say, The blind and the lame do not come into the house. And Daud dwelt in the stronghold, and called it the city of Daud. And Daud built all around, from the Millo and inward. And Daud went on and became great, and Yahuah Elohim Tsabaoth was with him. Now Kiram king of Sor sent messengers to Daud, and cedar trees, and carpenters, and masons, and they built a house for Daud. And Daud knew that Yahuah had established him as king over Yisrael, and that he had exalted his reign, because of his people Yisrael. And Daud took more concubines and wives from Jerusalem, after he had come from Hebron, and more sons and daughters were born to Daud. And these were the names of those born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, and Shobab, and Nathan, and Shalomo, and Yibkar, and Elishua, and Nepheg, and Yaphiah, and Elishama, and Eliada, and Eliphalet. And the Philistine heard that they had anointed Daud king over Yisrael. And all the Philistine went up to search for Daud. But Daud heard and went down to the stronghold. And the Philistine came and spread themselves out in the valley of Rephaim. And Daud inquired of Yahuah, saying, Do I go up against the Philistine? Do you give them into my hand? And Yahuah said to Daud, Go up, for I shall certainly give the Philistine into your hand. And Daud came to Belperatzim, and Daud smote them there. And he said, Yahuah has broken through my enemies before me, like a breakthrough of water. So he called the name of that place Belperatzim. And they left their images there, and Daud and his men took them away. And the Philistine again came up, and were spread out in the valley of Rephaim. And when Daud inquired of Yahuah, he said, Do not go up, turn around behind them, and you shall come upon them in front of the mulberry trees. And it shall be, when you hear the sound of stepping in the tops of the mulberry trees, then act promptly, for then Yahuah shall go out before you to smite the camp of the Philistine. And Daud did so as Yahuah commanded him, and smote the Philistine from Geba as far as Gezer.